Hi everyone, it's John from T4 Family. Today we're going to talk about the Dometic CRX50 compressor fridge. Hi everyone, so this is the Dometic CRX50 fridge. It's a compressor type fridge, so it works very similarly to a fridge that you'd have in household. It's got a pump on the top, circulates the refrigerant, and then that draws the heat out of the main compartment. So this CRX50, very common in a lot of campervan and motorhome conversions. It's very compact, but for its size it's got quite a good capacity. So in total there's 45 litres capacity. That consists of 41 litres of fridge space, and then there's a 4 litre freezer area as well. The good thing about this fridge is you can use it one of three ways. You can have it all as a fridge, so you can have 45 litres of fridge capacity. You can have it as a 41 litre fridge and a 4 litre freezer box, or you can actually use all of the capacity, all 45 litres, as a freezer. Things to note: if you want to use this as a freezer, even on its highest setting, it's only going to get down to about -5, so don't expect it to be a deep freeze. If you're using the icebox though, that icebox will go down as low as -15, so you can properly store frozen food for a reasonable amount of time. When you go to fit your fridge, the dimensions that you need to be aware of: 53.5 centimeters tall, it is 38 centimeters wide, and 50 centimeters front to back. The other thing you need to be careful of is if you're fitting this fridge into an enclosed space, you need to make sure that there's some ventilation, especially around the back area here, because what it's going to do is it's going to draw air in underneath the front of the fridge. It's going to bring it back, and then it's going to vent upwards towards the back. So if you're putting it into a unit, make sure that there's some space at the back, make sure that there's some ventilation. In our units, we're very lucky. As part of the design for these majestic wood design units, there is a vent on the side and at the back and slightly above the back of the fridge. This allows the hot air that's going to be coming off the back of the fridge to escape without things overheating. As for energy requirements, this fridge, while it's running, is going to be using about 5 amps, that's 60 watts. But the good thing is, because it is a compressor fridge and it is thermostatically controlled, it's not going to be running all the time at that. It's a lot like your fridge at home. When it gets down to temperature, the motor's going to stop and it's not going to be using any energy. Dometic list for this fridge that it should use around 270 watt hours of electricity in 24 hours. That's based on the ambient temperature being 25 degrees. So if the inside temperature of your van is 25 degrees, you're going to need about 260, 270 watt hours. What that converts to into amp hours is about 20 amp hours of energy per day. So if you're using this on your leisure battery, you can work out how many days you could go off grid with this. If you're using solar, you should be able to balance that back up. Something to note is if the ambient temperature rises to 32 degrees, so just 7 degrees warmer, which is quite possible if your vehicle's sat in the sun, this fridge almost doubles the amount of energy that it uses. So it could be using nearly 600 watt hours in a 24-hour period. So this is another reason why it's really important that you keep the ventilation at the back of the fridge. When you get the fridge out of the box, you'll find that the hinge is on the right hand side It means the door is going to open out like this. We've actually hinged it the other way around. Very easy to switch this around. All you need to do, there's two bits at the top, got a hinge here, swap those over, and then on the bottom, the same thing, there's a hinge at the bottom, just swap it from one side to the other. Very straightforward to do. Wiring up the fridge is incredibly simple. Comes with this lead. All you need to do, positive to the red side, negative to the black side. It's going to draw around 5 amps of current while it's running, but what I recommend is when you wire this in, fuse it to a 10 amp fuse. We did have this in our old setup and it was on a 5 amp fuse and it did blow that fuse, so go up to a 10 amp fuse. Inside the fridge, we've got it set up as a fridge and a freezer at the moment. So you have the cool box at the top, which has a capacity of about 4 litres. That's enough to get your ice creams in there, get anything that needs to be frozen. It does get down to a fairly reasonable temperature down there. There's 4 settings on this. According to the specifications, when it's on its warmest setting, effectively, it's going to be around 12 degrees in the fridge and about -3, I think, in the freezer. It will go down to -15 in the freezer on its coldest setting and down to 3 degrees in the fridge. We've got adjustable shelves in here. You can change the height of these. You've also got a little crisper area at the bottom. The crisper area does get quite cold. It's quite good in there. We haven't had any problems with vegetables being too warm in there. The control panel up here, nice and easy to use. You can adjust the temperatures just by clicking these buttons here. You do have another option as well. If you want to use the unit as a freezer, you need to take out this compartment here, and then you push and hold the thermostat for a few seconds, and it takes it down to this, which is the quick freeze setting. So this will allow you to use the entire capacity of the fridge as a freezer. It gets down to about -6. We'll just take that back off. What we find most of the time is if you've got it on the third setting down, this is more than adequate for even the warmest of weather in the UK. We haven't had any problems with that. On the fridge, you've got areas for your milk here at the top. And to turn it off, push and hold the power button. If you're looking to buy this fridge online, the retail price is around £800 in the UK. Do shop around though, because you can get good deals on these. I think we paid just over £500, and that was 2 years ago. So there you go. That's the Dometic CRX50. I think it's a great fridge, especially if you've got a smaller size camper van. It's got quite a lot of capacity inside. It's not too bad on battery and fairly affordable. If you like this video, if it's been a help, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and any feedback or any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks a lot.